I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. Gary Stearman is here to discuss with me the latest things that are happening across the world. And first of all, I want you to know that our December 2008 edition of Prophecy in the News magazine is out. And our cover story is President-elect Barack Obama is related to President Bush. They are 10th cousins, linked by Samuel Hinckley, 1662. It's quite an article, covers about 6 pages of this magazine. If you'd like to get it, you can order it from the website here. Gary, let's talk about the economy and what's happening across the world.
Well, JR, as of today, the feds have pledged $7.4 trillion to economic recovery in the United States. That's an incalculable amount of money. My mind cannot wrap around such a figure. But essentially what it boils down to is that they are devising, at very high levels of global government, they are devising means of transferring power from local administrations to global administrations.
Any idea how many American dollars have been printed so far or in circulation? How many trillions?
It's hard to say. The printing presses are running 24/7, and economic quote-unquote stimulus packages are being proposed. But JR, what it will end up being is government ownership of the means of production in this country. That is a huge change.
Well, that has to happen because, by the way, it's happened in other countries. All the other countries, including so-called democratic countries, because they have a socialist government and they've simply nationalized all business. So the government owns the business.
Right.
That makes all the people who are in the country serfs. You know,
True.
we're slaves to the government. Here's an article that says that President Bush has handed over the reins of the U.S. economy to the EU, to the European Union. Says the results of the G20 economic summit amount to nothing less than the seamless integration of the United States into the European economy. In 1 month of legislation and 1 diplomatic meeting, the United States has unilaterally abdicated all the gains for the concept of free markets won by the Reagan administration and surrendered in total to the Western European model of socialism, stagnation, and excessive government regulation. Well, Gary, that's what's got to happen, you know, because the Bible says that the mark of the beast is going to be a one world monetary system and that nobody can buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
And JR, that system arises out of a financial calamity. That's fairly clear from prophecy. In fact, I think of the words of James chapter 5, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." And James goes on to say that the economic system that the rich men have always depended on has now collapsed. And with that collapse comes restructuring, and we all know who restructures.
Yes, the ones who cause the collapse are doing the restructuring.
Right.
That's metaphysics.
Yeah, it is.
You know, you produce the problem, then you produce the solution.
Right.
And who gets to be cannon fodder? The old taxpayer himself.
True.
You and me. And so I saw one economic advisor who gave some pretty good advice. He said, keep around the house somewhere between 3 to 6 months of cash. Well, of course, that knocks out me. It knocks out most of us.
It does.
But simply what he was saying was, better get your bank account out of the bank and put it under your mattress or something similar to that. I can't tell you that that's my suggestion. I'm just telling you what others have suggested. But I'll tell you one thing. With the government's hand in everybody's back pocket, it looks like the government is going to take over everything.
JR, we've said it for years. There must, because of prophetic verity, be a one world government. We've been saying it. Others have been predicting it. I believe we're living in visibly biblical times today.
That is a powerful statement, Gary.
Yeah.
That we are living in the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. We are there. And Jesus said, when you see all these signs come to pass,
Yes.
look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. I'm J.R. Church and Gary Stearman. See you again tomorrow with our analysis of the news.